My talk will be about accessibility and web governance. And that's a subject I work on for, I suppose, 10 years or so. I work with different companies and we're trying to achieve accessible and good websites. So, first, what is accessibility? We're here, so we should know. But I have something to explain. Accessible websites are great websites. We all know. Accessible means that everybody can have access, no matter what, if you use a computer or a smartphone, which software, if you have abilities, or if you are experienced to use the web. So it's about being inclusive. Content is worthless when it's not accessible, and that's my job. Making accessible content, because otherwise it's wasted money. Last week I came across this website. You will know it. And it was developed as an app. And later on they said, oh man, let's put it on the website. And this is what happened. This is a local government. In fact, I think it's wasted tax money. So that's not what you should be doing. So, what is good content? Jenny Radish says, your website adds value when web visitors can find what they need, if they can understand what they find, so it's accessible in the words, it's readable, people can understand it, and they act appropriately in the way we want them to, in the less time possible for them. So we should save money and we should save time. So, I don't know who's working on top tasks in the room. So this is a little bit about top tasks, isn't it? It's making things easy, doable, accessible. But we're in the room. Every year we've got the same conference. And what we're saying is, selling accessibility is so hard. But what we're trying to explain, senior management, we don't find the right words. My experience once with my first accessible website, I said, wow, it's accessible for everybody. And even the blind can see it. So they say, we don't have any blind people around. So there goes my whole conversation. So what I say, don't mention the wheelchair. It's not going to help us. Accessibility is about being inclusive, not about exceptions. Oh, okay, we all know it. I will explain it. This is generally a big, shiny car. It drives fast. But I'm sorry, it's not accessible for everyone. Grandma couldn't fit in. She has to go to the window. So we should stop making those generally websites. We make it accessible for everyone. And in fact, it's very simple. It's very easy to sell it. This is how I do it. I call it Mount Accessibility. And what we have, the top we want to reach, is a great website. And a great website is in fact a website that adds value to the organization. By this, you could achieve a business goal. And that's what we're doing. We're not making websites for fun, but we're achieving business goals, even for governments. So here it is. In the beginning, accessibility. We should, like you said, and we heard before, we should have it in mind before we even try to design something or think of a communication. Accessibility. Then we can make it for mobile. Easy. We add on first-class relevant content. Okay, we don't have to buy a search engine optimization because it's done already. And we get usable, user-friendly websites, the great UX we all want, and a great website. This is the way to sell accessibility. Talking about great websites, talking about achieving goals, not the wheelchair. So working on accessibility is great. I do it every day, and I love it. But this is not great. This is working end of pipe. This is making code less suck, making lesser problems, we found. So this is no fun, working on accessibility. It's like firefighting. So it is hard. Let me explain you why it is hard for you all. Okay, I hope you will survive this hard stuff, but I have to explain it before lunch. I see strategy, governance, and management are three things fitting together. More or less like this. We can't have management without governance, and governance won't exist without management. And we've got the strategy pinned it all together. So what is management? What is governance? Management is doing stuff, governance deciding who decides. First, strategy. That's not new, that's from the Greeks. Strategy means it's really achieving a goal at a high level plan, even if the circumstances change. So when you have lesser money, lesser resources, even then you could achieve your goal. Okay, information strategy. What is information strategy? Bob Boyko says, if we deliver the right information to the right people in the right way, it will help us meet our goals. So there's communication connected to the goals. So if the web platform is the right way for the right people, we should do that. But if we would like to start a conversation, we should do that. So don't build things that doesn't work. Very important. This is one of my favorite strategies. It's so clear, it's so simple. It says, digital services so good that people prefer to use them. It's from the Cabinet's office. Note that there isn't a website so good that people, or a web application so good, or a web form so good. No, it's digital services together. Web management. How are you doing? It's too fast. Web management is really about doing stuff. And it's a systematic, ongoing process of making good, valuable content. That's the work that should be done. Erik Hartman, maybe you know him, he explained it a little further, so you could please read something about his work. But it says it's a continuous wheel of improving content and information. Okay, third part, web governance. So this is very unknown for most of the organizations. They do have their web management in place, but the problem is there is no really framework or clarity about who decides on what. So governance really is the framework that distributes authority for the strategy, principles, and standards. Who is going to discuss on what? Who's going to decide on what? Okay, an example to explain it a little bit further. The Elfstedentocht. I'll explain it to you. When it freezes in the Netherlands, Friesland, everybody hopes for the Elfstedentocht. It doesn't happen all the time, but once in a million years we can have the Elfstedentocht. It's very heroic. So what we do is we have those ice meesters. They do the ice management. They are managing the ice. How big it is, how many ducks are floating in it, that's what they do. But this man, German, he decides, will there be an Elfstedentocht or not? So in his daily job, he could be a carpenter. But he's the man. Even our king couldn't say, overrule his decision. So that's the governance, sitting behind the table. So governance is who has got to sit around the table when decisions are made. And who has final decision-making authority when consensus cannot be achieved through discussion. When we don't know the right answer, who's going to decide? Management, making decisions, doing stuff, governance, deciding who decides. So, why should you work so hard? That is because we live in organizations that were formed before digital existed. So the way we organize things is like this on the assembly line. Accessibility could be the last part in the assembly line. But that is not what web is. And we organize it this way. I've got an organization chart, and the web team is over here. So how could they imply a standard? It's just here. So we end up like this. You've got a department saying, oh, please put it on my website, and on the homepage I want to have a banner, and could you link this web form? And you say, oh no, it's not accessible at all, who bought this stuff? So that's what's making our work very, very difficult. All those departments have their own goals. And another problem is that our web team is so much bigger than we think. As we think of a web team, we always think of those two extremely exhausted people behind their laptops or computers. It's not the web team. It's much more like this. You've got the distributed team, you've got all those people in committees advising, and we've got, or I will point it out, our extended web team. And our extended web team, these are our vendors. So when they don't have accessible frameworks, how could we achieve accessibility over here? Check the time. So this whole team is responsible for the web presence of your organization. And what's also the problem is that if you don't have those strategies and the framework applied, that's what's going to happen. So I'll give you an example. What is strategy? What are policies and principles and standards? Strategy could be digital services so good that people prefer to use it. Then we need our policies and principles, so we build for inclusion. For everyone. Everyone who pays taxes should be included. Then we have our standards. So we can have standards. Oh yes, we have that design as you say. Okay, checkbox. So it's all together. And when we don't have guidance or strategy, it will just fall off. We will be end of life working. So, what can be done? So this is hopefully the uplifting part of my presentation. What can you do? So it's so easy to say, oh, okay, let's buy a document or so, or hire an agency or a consultant, and we'll have a governance framework or a governance plan. No, it's not going to work. Governance is not for sale. You can't buy it anywhere. It's not in the store. And we should stop pointing fingers at others. What we're saying all the time is, oh, it's ICT department, all the marketing stuff, and we will be buying the application for something. Stop pointing fingers. You could do something about it. So start to collaborate with others and start working on your soft skills. And that won't happen by email. You can't collaborate by email. So you have to see and look out for other people. And this is a very, very important part. Start with doing. Start working on your skills. Most of the time people say, oh, I would like to be the editor-in-chief and just work with other editors. No, you have to edit yourself. You have to apply the standards yourself. So start doing things. By that you will get the authority to make decisions when needed. And first of all, you should start educate yourself in digital governance, because it is hard. And most of the time, this talk is 20-25 minutes. I can talk for hours, for days, for weeks perhaps. But it starts really by educating yourself. And I've had some resources here, and I'm not going to talk through them because they will be in your slide deck afterwards. But I really would recommend this book, Digital Adaptation. This is about the problems we're facing and how to apply standards. So another thing we could do is just exactly know who is in our web team. Like I explained before, the web team is bigger than we think. So you could start with plotting the roles, responsibilities, and by doing that, you will find out that some responsibility are covered and some aren't. So there are two ways of doing that. A responsibility assignment matrix, you can find it in the book. I recommend it. And it says, we've got all sorts of tasks. Content creation, content removal, hosting, technical implementation. You could fit on in all your tasks you're working on. And you say, who's responsible? Who should be accountable? Who should be consulted? And who needs to be informed? This is what a matrix is. By doing that, you can find out where are the standards and who is deciding on what and what's missing. Another way of doing that is this way, by Lisa Welchman. And I like this scheme a lot because it says we've got those strategy, policy, and standards, and we're plotting a web team. You can do this in Excel. There's nothing for needed. You can start tomorrow by doing this. So my message to you is just start talking about governance, start complaining about it, but start by doing and be the agent of change. So please get out of our comfort zones. That's what I'm doing. This is not really my comfort zone, but you should try to start talking to people also. And I will conclude with this. Because there are only 2 days in a year that nothing can be done. One is called yesterday, and the other is called tomorrow. Thank you.